on Kump, we have Trump indicted, Disney versus DeSantis, and killer chatbots. Stay tuned. Hello, and welcome to Kump.
Hello.
Hello, Lucy.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm good.
Are you excited for the Boys of Summer, as they were?
The Boys of Summer?
You don't know what that means?
I know it's a Don Henley song.
What is it about?
It's about the boys. It's about all the boys of summer that the woman he loves has been having sex with.
All right, this is a family show. Baseball. Baseball are the Boys of Summer. Do you know about that?
Oh, really?
Yes.
Wait, so is Don Henley saying that she had sex with the whole baseball team?
Wow. How does that sound? I mean, is that the one where he's like, got the Cadillac going down the highway?
Yeah.
Something like that.
Those days are gone forever.
Yeah. Something like that. Is that even about his wife leaving him?
It's just about him singing from the perspective of a guy who's like waiting on basically he's kind of a simp in the song. Like he's waiting on a girl to finish all of her
I confused this song with I got my first real six string, but I thought you were saying Sex Dream. Whatever that song is. No, I'm referring to baseball.
Oh.
I don't think they call the baseball boys the Boys of Summer.
They do?
Yes.
Oh.
Because they play in the summer. How have you gotten all your life not knowing this? You're a baseball fan, sort of.
I do like baseball. I've never heard it called the Boys of Summer.
The Boys of Summer are back. You'll hear that on promos.
Kind of condescending, I think. They're men.
They're boys. They're playing a game. They're playing a game with sticks and little mitts. They have mittens, and they're catching little balls.
We were looking at a big boy earlier.
Well, look, we'll get to that in a second. And then don't talk about our affairs. Baseball is back, and they have a new pitch clock. Have you seen this? I've been watching Mets games. They have.
Oh, they're timing it now.
They're timing the pitches. So these. I'm really happy that these, because I'm an occasional baseball watcher. I watched all the games so far this year, which is 2 of the Mets, and these pitch clocks are pretty cool. Not because the games took too long. It's still like 3 hours almost, or 2.5 hours. I don't care about that. It's just taking the piss out of these pitchers. I think pitchers are pretentious. I think that you should have one pitcher per team, and their career should be 3 years long. They blow their shoulders out immediately. You know, the game is just boring. You'd have more hits if you didn't let these guys just rest all the time. Just have their shoulders bleeding, trying to, no relief pitchers, no savers, no closers. Just have a guy with, Tommy John. Get rid of Tommy John surgery. Don't want it.
Don't fix them?
Don't fix their arms.
Yeah.
Look, you can have health care once you retire from the game of baseball. Pay him more money if you want. I don't know, but I'm sick. I occasionally watch baseball, and I don't have time to get into the nuances of this is a real duel between the batter and the pitcher. I don't care. I want to see hits, baby.
But the duel is half the drama. Watching the pitcher stand there and he's got a little beads of sweat on his forehead, and he's trying to figure out, what do I send my...
He's taking Adderall, that's why he's sweating. He's just trying to keep it to his focus. And I'm sick of them. And they sit on the mound and they mull their next decision. They rub their hands, figuratively speaking, and they act like wizards. I don't want it. So the clock just makes them uncomfortable, and I like that. I'm sick of pitchers.
You don't think they look elegant when they're standing there and they're kind of staring off into the distance, and they're holding the ball like this behind their back? You don't think they look like
they were strutting on a runway to me? I
feel like they look like elegant jesters.
Well, that's not something to look up to. You're calling them clowns. Look, all I'm saying is I'm just happy that athletes are taken down a peg. I'm sick of them with their chiseled bodies and their abs and eating properly sometimes. I don't need it.
Arrogant.
They should have a fat guy pitching. Just a real pig. Just the Brendan Fraser and the whale. And just have him just spitting and sweating and throwing up on the mound, but they won't let him leave. You should have to stay in like a facility, like a dorm when you're a baseball player. That would make it fun. Because it's not basketball. It's not that fun. I know people can be in the comments, you just don't understand the nuance of the game. I don't want to. All right? Pitchers infuriate me. So this clock, I don't know if it's going to make the games faster, but it's going to make me happier. Because I'm just sitting there going, yeah, you think you're better than me? You think you're better than me? And they don't listen. They don't respond. Anyway.
I'm curious how much time the clock is.
It's 15 seconds, I believe. You're in the wrong.
15.
You're in Firefox.
I know. 15 seconds. Wow. That's
a long time. It's enough time to
I don't think that's enough time.
It's enough time to decide if you want to throw a ball or not. It's enough time to decide if, should I throw a strike or a ball? What is the point of pitching? Why does every machine do it?
You think they should just have a pitching machine on the mound?
Yes, but it's random. It has ball, strike, and it's just randomized. So you don't know what's coming. So you have to be smart about it.
Yeah, but the pitcher is also supposed to be able to field. What if something is hit towards the pitcher's mound?
You put a basket on the top. Who gives a shit? What are we doing here? I am so because honestly, it's like a team game, but so much of it relies on the pitcher. They're too important. You gotta take them because they're specialized. If you just make them, I forget which division makes them bad or not. This is a whole debate in baseball. If you watch Ken Burns' baseball, I'm sure there's a whole episode on whether or not the designated hitter rule is good or not. Which means, in one half of baseball, pitchers bat, and the other half they don't. And I don't care which. Is it the one I watch with the Mets? I'm asking.
Yeah, the Mets, I think the pitcher bats.
I couldn't even tell you.
I've seen the pitcher bat.
Couldn't even tell you. Couldn't care less. Have a machine. Have a Coca-Cola machine. Remember that Pepsi machine that would shoot out in the commercials? It would shoot Pepsis out and hurt people? Am I remembering that right?
I don't know. Are you thinking of like why don't they just set up a t-shirt cannon?
Now we're thinking. Now we're talking. How about you get a Roomba and you bolt the t-shirt a broomstick in a t-shirt cannon and you have it moving around.
Yeah, and it can actually get really close to the batter.
Yeah.
It can just start pelting them.
Yeah. But you get a gun. You can shoot it. It moves pretty quick, so if you can shoot it, it's not a good gun. The sights are off.
That would be increased stakes. Imagine if rule change idea.
Yeah.
You know how when the pitcher hits the batter with the ball, automatic walk.
Sure. What about you? You think I'm a child? Of course I know that rule. If I was a baseball player, I would just jump in front of the ball every time.
But what if there was a rule change?
Yes.
Where it's an automatic walk, but the pitcher has like a basket of balls, and he can just try and pelt the batter as many times as possible on his way to first base.
Okay, so if he gets a shot off, he's just throwing and he's shooting his alarm cannon. So now we're back to human pitchers.
This could happen with a human pitcher or with a robot pitcher.
I prefer the robot because it's more likely to hit him hard.
Yeah.
Yeah. Also, I'd like to incorporate something where if the pitcher doesn't do well, his kids can't go to college. I don't know. You just have to. The MLB would have to team up with the board of colleges or whatever, if that's the thing, and somehow blackball his children. If you let up, it's not like if you don't have a Cy Young award, but if you fumble a game and you have a bunch of home runs happen, your kids get blackballed from elite colleges because these guys are rich; they can afford to send their kids anywhere. So they can go to community college, but they get blackballed from Harvard, Yale, Caltech, anything nice. Put stakes in the game.
Yeah, maybe that could be a good stake for like when the pitcher, because usually when the pitcher's up to bat, right, there's kind of an understanding of like, yeah, well, he's not gonna, he's probably not gonna get anything,
right?
But it's like, but this would actually, if they switched the robot pitcher with like a minor league softball pitcher,
like a woman,
yeah. And it's like we're
in the danger zone now. Now we're into politics.
And we're gonna send you an easy one, but if you miss it, your
kids die.
Your kids die.
Wow, that's rough. That is rough. That is a real problem.
Yeah,
I like it. I like it. I mean, they can't die.
No,
but
something bad happens.
But their credit score gets affected.
Right. Yeah.
Like your kid starts out with like a 200 credit score.
Mm-hmm.
And like, he'll have to like work at Denny's for 5 years. Or I don't know how credit scores improve.
Yeah, it's just
does working at Denny's improve your credit score? I don't know what I'm talking about. Something, whatever people have to do. They have to volunteer at a kill shelter.
We just guarantee that they'll be in debt for the first 10 years of their adulthood.
I really want to start controlling athletes' money more. Really start. I look. People say they don't deserve that much money. They deserve whatever the market will bear. But why not make it fun? Why not make it so that people can, like, I don't want to make these guys poor. I know a lot of these people come from not the best backgrounds economically, and this is their chance to get generational wealth. Keep that. Just take a big chunk of it. Like, these guys will make, like guys, let's think about sports. People talk about, like, actors and what they make. But their net worth is like, who's that kid everyone likes that I don't like? Timothy Chalamet. If he comes on the podcast, I'll like him. Otherwise, whatever. Get lost. What's his net worth? Whatever. It's like, was he worth $30 million? Guys you've never heard of, even if you watch baseball, are worth $100 million. I don't know about I don't know basketball. It's like, I know basketball more. Those guys make a ton of money. Guys you've never heard of. And they deserve it. What I'm saying is, like, over the course of their career, they make 100, 200 million. Take 50. Take 50.
Wait, but take 50 to what end?
Hurt them.
Just hurt them.
Yeah, I don't know. Make it fun for everybody. We start, like LeBron. This brings us to a topic. We this is a nice segue, even though it wasn't until I mentioned it. But LeBron James came out. Because look, you're not on Twitter anymore. You're not part of the discourse. But according to the head, whatever his job is, the head of Mars Invasions, Elon Musk, Twitter users. You know how everyone's got a check mark? Like the legacy, the elites have check marks, the blue check marks on Twitter. And you know how like they have Twitter Blue, where it's $8 a month and you get a check mark. But, you know what I'm talking about? Mm-hmm. Okay. Well, now, April 15th, because up until now, you click on the little blue check mark, and it'll tell you this guy is subscribed to Twitter Blue, or currently it says this is a legacy check mark. It may or may not be notable, right? Mm-hmm. April 15th, that's done. No more legacy check marks. You have to pay for Twitter Blue to get a check mark. And people are going back and forth. They're going, why would I want to have this check mark if I'm not even verified? Or these actors and these people who worked at BuzzFeed or whatever, who in the mailroom who are verified for some reason. I mean, look, let's be honest. A lot of people who are verified, like they just had a job at Snoopy.com or some other blog.
Yeah.
And and now they're, this is a notable person. It's like this guy wrote an article about, how he ate glass.
Yeah.
It's not news.
They get paid like $30K a year. But
I ate glass for a month. See what happened.
But Twitter verification is one of their benefits. Like it's one of the perks.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. Well, that's going away.
Yeah.
And LeBron James came out. He's one of the guys who's saying, I'm not going to stick around on Twitter. Let's take a look at this article. Read some of this to me. I can't read.
On the eve of the next era of Twitter, LeBron James is taking a stand.
I don't know if it's a stand, but go ahead.
No, this is a revolution.
This is the Boston Tea Party right here.
According to Elon Musk, Twitter plans to retire legacy verified accounts this week, meaning that only people who will hold The only people who will hold on to their blue check marks are those that elect to pay for Twitter Blue. As Twitter has been a free website for the entirety of its existence, save for the mental toll it takes on its users.
All right, thanks,
Speak
Insider.
For yourself.
Are these the people who just like ambush people, like Insider?
Insider, I don't know.
Are they the people who like just write like assassination articles, the hit pieces?
Maybe.
Whatever.
Many tweeters have sworn against paying a monthly subscription in exchange for a blue check that has lost any value it used to hold. On Friday, James counted himself amongst them. And this is a tweet from LeBron James. Welp, guess my blue check mark will be gone soon, because if you know me, I ain't paying the $5. And
apparently he went on to say, they showed videos of him, and apparently he's very cheap. Like, he still has Pandora with the commercials, apparently. That's the thing he references, yeah. The man's worth like $500 million. I don't know.
Yeah,
I don't know if this is true. I mean, I like the idea. Do you think he's faking being cheap? This is why I'm talking. This is why I brought.
I can't imagine commercials when you're listening to music on an app.
Yeah.
Commercials on those kinds of apps are some of the most annoying things in the world.
No, the worst.
I can't imagine that a billionaire wouldn't just shell out.
But he doesn't. Apparently, this Cleveland reporter I saw on Twitter, when he recovered the Cavs. Like, I remember here in the locker room pregame getting ready, he's getting ready, and you just hear ads on Pandora. So this guy's not lying. But do you think he's lying about being? Do you think this is a mythos he's building?
Yes.
Yes. And this is what I'm talking about.
No, I think this is like this is like when you hear something about like Warren Buffett still,
eats Dairy Queen.
Has been wearing the same shoelaces since he was 10 years old.
Yeah, and he just gutted an insurance company.
Yeah, right.
He just bought an orphanage and made everyone do his taxes. Yeah. I don't know what they do.
Right.
I love it. That's my idea of child labor. All the little kids doing taxes.
That would be really cute.
That would be adorable until you realize they don't know anything about tax code and they just fuck everything up.
Yeah.
I'm ruined. But yeah, so I mean, how else could we get to these guys?
I mean, why would anybody get a check? Why not just not have have the check mark though?
Well, look, there is a legitimate concern. I mean, I never really. I see every day people who are verified who have far less followers than me, let alone less enjoyable content. I think my follow me on Twitter at Ray Kump if you want. I don't care, but I think it's pretty good funny.
He's got some great tweets.
I got tweets. If you like them, you don't like them, I don't care. What am I trying to prove here? But the point is, but this resentment people have against these legacy check marks. This is like a weird populist thing where people these guys thought they were the elites. And it's like, look, it's obviously fake. But the point is, there is a valid role, I guess, for not, if you are LeBron James, not being impersonated. Right? That being said, pay the $8.
Yeah.
Stop trying to sell me on your or your spendthriftness. Look, no one wants the American dream, and then here's the point. You're an icon, right? And you deserve the money you get. You're a phenomenal athlete. You work hard. Whatever. If they didn't, it's like the market will bear. What? Should the money go to the billionaire owners? I mean, before lower the ticket prices. Whatever. That maybe. Is that ever going to happen? No prices go down. So except for every computers and TVs and anything on Amazon. But the point is, these things, we can't put it back in the box. So give it to LeBron James. But you should be buying Ferraris and and paying hush money to the prostitutes. All sorts of fun stuff. That's what people watch.
Right.
That's what they want. No one wants to see a spendthrift who's worth $500 million.
Yeah.
This country is built on fumes. It's built on false promise. This idea that I didn't save. I got where I am because I didn't spend the $5 for Pandora.
That's a great point. The kind of wholesome American dream.
Yeah.
That was fine for the 1950s.
Right.
But
when athletes actually made a grand a month or whatever it was.
Yeah. But now,
Shoeless Joe Jackson or whatever.
In this twilight of America, we really need a dirtier American dream.
We need
you to we need people behaving badly with their billions.
He should be buying NFTs, giving them to groupies in exchange for sex. Even if he doesn't have, look, you don't have to have sex with them, but pretend you do.
Yeah.
I want you to have sex with a hunchbacked woman. You know, filthy. I mean, does that make it, I don't know. I mean, look, apologies to hunchbacked women. I'm not saying you're dirty, but just raunchy stuff. You know? I mean,
yeah, get into amputees.
I mean, I've known people who did that.
Yeah.
I wasn't their friend, but I knew them, and it's they left their family for them.
That is a real affinity for amputees.
That's a fetish.
Yeah.
When you leave your family when you leave your wife and kids because your wife has arms, that's commitment to a fetish. That is like, I don't know what you call it. I'm sorry, I love you, baby, but these legs are a problem for me. Can I cut them off?
They're always, you can kind of understand it. You know, you're trying to make love to a woman and her limbs just keep fumbling about, getting in the way of things.
That's never happened.
Maybe he developed the fetish because his wife was just really clumsy with her limbs, and it made it hard for him.
I don't know. I mean, I knew them both, and she didn't seem like. I get what you're saying, but she wasn't like.
Did she have like restless legs?
No, she wasn't like walking around like a gorilla, like or anything like that. Like, you know, she stood upright and she like, you know, walked like a normal person.
Nothing that would have made him just disgusted with the idea of limbs in general. Yeah. Yeah.
No, I never saw her knees per se. Maybe she had really crappy knees. Just really disgusting knees.
Some people have shitty
What would make a knee unattractive? What kind of knee?
Fat compared to the rest of the leg.
Sure, just a bulging kneecap.
Yeah.
I mean, she was kind of slender, I think. What about a knee that just kind of turns into itself?
An innie knee?
An innie knee.
That sounds bad.
Yeah. I guess I'd prefer someone with no. And look, it would be the most not incredible, whatever. But like, someone's, you know, the amputees need to have sex too.
Yeah.
So I'm not against the idea that like, it's just more that like, and like if you're into that, that's fine. It's just odd that you've already committed to someone for life. People get divorced, I get it, but you committed to someone.
Yeah.
You have kids with them, little kids, and the inflection point of leaving is limbs. The fact that limbs are there.
So these are problems that you too can avoid, LeBron.
Or do it. I mean, look, this is disgusting. He wouldn't have to leave his wife. He could just pay. He could just have.
No,
sex.
I meant the problem of ugly knees and
right.
Yeah.
I mean, wouldn't it be so much better if LeBron bedded these women instead of this sleazy guy?
It would be amazing. I think it would kind of. I don't want to go too far with it, but given like the standard of morality, moral purity, I think it would make him a contemporary saint if he did it.
I mean, let's go. That feels a little insulting to amputees. Hey, look, he's a saint for having sex with you. I agree with you, but I would never say it. That's a real mean thing to say. We all thought it.
Not necessarily just for making love to the amputees, but just for being public about it.
I guess.
For wanting it.
He's a real saint for admitting to having sex with you. That's again, we're all thinking it. It's just really rough thing to say. You should not be the White House press secretary. Maybe you should. You should accelerate the end of America.
Yeah.
I'll tell you this, he's a saint.
That man is a saint.
Bill Clinton's a saint for shoving a cigar in that woman's tart. I mean, imagine if you were the press secretary during the Lewinsky scandal.
Oh, that would have gone badly.
Have you seen this woman? He's doing her a favor. Speaking of presidents, we have a former president, perhaps future president, under... Well, it's true.
You're right. Yeah. He might be a future president.
It's very possible. He's like the lead. I'm pretty sure he's in the lead on the Republican side. Mm-hmm. Who am I referring to? Ron Paul. No, Donald Trump. Finally indicted. And by finally, I just mean in the past couple of weeks. I'm not I don't mean like finally like past 4 years.
Yeah, not like we've been waiting on bated breath for it to happen, but we are in New York, and like you know they keep on teasing it.
Yeah, we like we covered last week. I was just worried about you having to go to work amongst January 6th type events.
Yeah,
which is again, do it or don't. But I just don't want Lucie getting wrapped up in it. So I and I advise you get a MAGA hat. You still haven't done it as a follow up from last episode. You still haven't gotten one.
Yeah.
Just caution to the wind. Mm-hmm. Maybe you'll end up being an amputee. I'll stay with you though, but not because you don't have. It's not because you don't have arms anymore. Anyway, Trump is indicted, so he'll possibly be arraigned Tuesday. What is your immediate takeaway from the situation? Do you feel safer now that the hush money is not being paid?
Yeah, I just don't. It's like. I've expressed this opinion before. Yeah. And I know that it's probably on some level a controversial one. But I think he's guilty of a lot of things.
Sure.
And I think that we should let him get away with it.
For the good of the Republic.
For the good of the Republic. Just so that we don't start this escalating thing where like people are trying, then maybe look, if it turns out that like some of the things that Democrats have been up to with the pandemic have been shady.
I am sure Nancy Pelosi
maybe they won't send them to jail.
I am so sick of your anti-liberal bias, even though you're very much a Marxist. I am so sick of you. Nancy Pelosi is just really good at picking stocks. All right, and I'm sick of the implication otherwise. She's just a whiz kid. She's like Charlie Sheen in Wall Street.
That's a good point.
Just coked up and just going like blue. Was it Blue Star? Blue Star likes MNR paper, whatever that stuff the jargon they yell at each other. It's him, her, and Dr. Cox from remember that movie?
Yeah.
Dr. Cox is in it from Scrubs and just yelling about Blue Star Airlines. And I never understood what that was, but that's how Pelosi got rich. She's one of the boys.
Yeah, when the Oracle of what do they call Warren Buffett? The Oracle of
Omaha.
When the Oracle of Omaha does it, it's great.
Yeah,
but when a woman does it,
right, who happens to have like a lot of classified and inside information,
suddenly it's a problem.
Right. No, she must have used that information that she has at her fingertips and used that influence that obviously she used. No. But yeah, we're conservatives, I guess you call them, whoever, people on Twitter. I don't know if any like actual politicians probably have called for Democrats to, I forget who said one of these. I think it might have been Charlie Kirk, who I thought was off Twitter, but I guess Elon brought him back. Is that the turning point guy? I don't know who these people are.
Yeah. Charlie Kirk's the Turning Point USA.
I think it was him saying, well, we got a bunch of Republican governors. We got Republican AGs. Let's get Bill Clinton indicted. And everyone's like, yeah.
Yeah, no, totally. Of course that's what's happening.
Right.
Like, it's look, and the thing is, what people will always say on either side, it doesn't matter. Like, if you're talking about giving any kind of like, grace to the other side, yeah. It's always like, well, that's not going to matter. They're not going to base their decisions on that. They're going to keep escalating.
Right.
And it's like, I don't know. I feel like if there's one thing the last like 10 years have demonstrated, it's that there is like a real strong give and take going on here.
Oh, yeah. The only people who lose are the American people.
Yeah.
And
like where it's the Chinese finger trap, or what do you call it?
Careful.
Is that what it's called?
I mean, by racists. I'm just kidding.
Yeah.
No, I believe that. Yeah, the thing where you put your finger in.
Yeah.
That's how you view this.
The thing
about fingering each other.
The fingering thing. We need to be fingering each other more.
Oh, you want the finger trap?
Yeah. No. We need to be to get out of the finger trap.
That's the paradox.
You gotta.
In case anyone here is still stuck in a finger trap, you have to actually the trick to that. And can you bring a picture up so people can see it?
You really don't think I should be press secretary?
I think this would be
American people. Listen to me. You're in a finger trap.
It would be glorious and catastrophic at the same time. You would tank the stock market in the first hour of your job. It'd be like a West Wing thing. Yeah, like we're just bringing.
Look, if Google calls it that, it's not racist.
No, I was kidding about
okay.
I don't care if you're racist.
Google can't be racist. Google is pure.
Do one with the hands so people can see it. I'll bring it up on the screen. Make that full screen. There we go.
So I would show this on a big whiteboard.
So this is what she's talking about
at the press conference, and I would say, this is you.
This is us.
Yeah.
And so the idea is you got to push in.
Yeah.
It's disgusting.
We've got to push. We've got to thrust into Trump to defeat him.
Yes. So because you're stuck in there, if you try to pull out,
yeah,
it all goes to shit.
Yeah.
This sounds sexual. So what is your point?
Anyway, so we should let him go, is what I mean.
Okay.
Yeah. What do you think should happen?
I think he should have to fight in an arena. I would love to see Trump. Like I think much like Game of Thrones. Remember when Tyrion was accused of poisoning Joffrey? He's on trial,
right?
And and then the hooker comes in, the prostitute girlfriend, and she's lying.
She betrays
him, and so he just goes off, and he's like, "I want a trial by combat." That should be Trump. On Tuesday, Trump should ask for a trial by combat
and be granted it.
Yeah. Well, obviously, yes. Yeah. I mean, and then, I mean, what, and so who should he fight?
He's a big guy, so he shouldn't have a champion. He should definitely fight the fight himself.
Well, he's a fat guy. He's tall, I guess. What is he, 6'5"?
He's pretty tall, I think.
No, he's not exactly LeBron James.
No.
He's a dumpy older guy. I don't he's 75. I'm not judging him. I'm just saying he's 80 years old almost, right? Or 75. I don't know if you qualify him as he's a big guy, he shouldn't have a champ. I mean, like, if we're gonna have him fight like Batista, from the Guardians of the guy who plays who's the big guy from Guardians of the Galaxy? Grack?
Yeah.
Gracchus?
Something like that.
Whatever. The wrestler. John Cena. Like who? I mean, he does know a lot of wrestlers. Maybe he should have to go in WWE Raw, whatever they call it, and fight one of these wrestler guys. But like really, well, I mean, you seem hesitant. How do you want him to fight?
I'd like him to have to fight like
in Ukraine.
I'd like him to have to fight all of like the people who are probably physically weaker than him.
Yeah.
Who he's insulted, but all at once. So like the reporter who he did the disabled reporter.
Well, don't be careful. You're in the same boat as him.
Who he did the impression of.
Sure.
Just a little. I was just hinting at his impression.
No, that's fine.
But
I don't care. You think that reporter? He's probably annoying. Like, that's the thing. I mean, that guy, Trump, the president should not be doing that. But that guy was probably a little annoying.
Yeah.
But the idea is not like that guy is a bastion of journalistic integrity. Who cares? The president should not be like mimicking handicapped people for fun.
So he fights him.
That seems
no, but there's others.
Okay.
There's
one at a time, or is it a group?
As a group.
Okay.
Yeah, so it's kind of like raid style.
Okay, like the raid. Yeah, next reference. Get you a woman who quotes the raid.
It's all like in a prison. They can be having this fight in a prison complex.
It's like Tango and Cash.
Yeah.
Nice.
Tammy Duckworth.
Who's Tammy Ducksworth?
She's a disabled Democrat.
How about all the women? I bet he has to fight all of Bill Clinton's rape victims. The ones he brought out. I guess I mean, do you think he could fight them all at once? Maybe not. I feel like they have a chance. I don't know why they'd fight him.
Yeah, I think they like him, right?
I guess his victims. I mean, he has some of his own.
They probably don't. Honestly, I think it's a safe bet to say they don't like him now. Probably it's like they probably.
I mean, what we're referencing is
he's probably done something
before one of the debates. He brought and it's one of the greatest political moves ever made. Before one of his debates with Hillary, he brought out like 7 women who all accused Bill Clinton of sexual misconduct on various levels, I guess.
Yeah.
And he had a press conference with them. And you think that now they look back and go, maybe we were used.
I just think he's probably done something directly to each of them between then and now. That like
you think he made a pass with them? Oh man, that's ironic. I wouldn't put it. Look,
or just like ignored their calls. Like they tried to set up a nonprofit at some point for like victim, and he's just like, he's just like tell him to fuck off.
Yeah.
Like.
I've pressed that grape already.
Yeah.
I don't think he would say something like that. Yeah. I pressed the grape. That's not his style. Who is he, Caesar? that grape presseth no more. But yeah.
Imagine if he did just talk like a Shakespeare character.
I mean, if he learned iambic pentameter at this point, I'd vote for. I would definitely vote for him. Or if he just starts speaking like an old-timey, like old West guy. Anything. Like, honestly, he has to... We've already seen the goods, right?
Yeah, he needs a good old-fashioned persona shift.
Yeah. And like, he needs to start talking, like, about them. Like, maybe just start talking about Marvel movies. You know, he needs to do what Ben Shapiro does, where Ben Shapiro just rail against trans people or whatever, large government. I'm not trying to slander the guy, but he rails about these issues that are serious and like cultural, right? But then he'll just review like, you know, Ant-Man and Quantumania. And Trump needs to take a page from that. He needs to start reviewing popular culture. But weekly.
Yeah. He should do a weekly review of Yellow Jackets.
I've still not seen that. Is that supposed to be good?
I don't know.
It's about women eating each other?
Yeah. Yeah, women forming little Lord of the Flies cults or something.
Sure. Yeah, I'd love to see or a Bachelor recap. Something like that. He needs to change up something. He needs to bite someone. Maybe he needs to take a cue from Jake Paul and the Paul brothers and start boxing.
Oh, wow.
We just need something different. Because, you know, Trump was look, some people didn't like it. Some people think he, like, did stuff to the country and, like, affected the morale or, like, hurt people. And maybe he did. But it was also a lot of fun sometimes. If you're completely detached from it, it's, you know, this is like, what do you want? You want just some Poindexter ruining the world? You want some guy who's not, like, hurting handicapped people to, like, destroy the country? The country's going down. I mean, like, no one's doing anything about climate change, so it might as well be a villain. Imagine just some guy who, like, means well, like Jimmy Carter's in office. He's like, no one will let me pass a law. Yeah. I'm trying to help people. Boring. Oh, he builds houses for poor people. They're probably terrible houses. That guy, he's not a contractor. What's he doing down there? He's a peanut farmer. What's he doing building houses? I mean, now he's in hospice, but you get my point.
Like, and also like the evolution of like deepfake technology and open AI technology.
Sure.
It's definitely going to hit a point pretty soon where like you aren't going to be able to trust anything. You're not going to be able to trust anyone or anything you see.
If you survive talking to a chatbot, we'll get to that in a second.
Yeah, but so might as well have some weirdo in charge.
Sure. Thoughts on? I mean, what I find
I probably won't vote for Trump.
No, I mean, like, what am I gonna vote?
Probably.
What am I gonna vote for? I'll vote for. Who's that? Carrie Lake. Is Carrie Lake running for president?
Carrie Lake.
Is she the one who's like, he's like, all the votes are fake? That seems fun. That could be fun. Who could be the next Trump before we move on?
I would love a progressive to run for president who was as like, you know, like, but who had a Carrie Lake vibe. That would be.
Is Bono American? Or he's Irish, famously, right?
He's Irish.
That's Sean Penn. Just a maniac. Just a self-indulgent maniac.
Has he ever run for president?
No, I don't think so. During Katrina, he went out in like a rowboat and saved people.
Right.
I think he actually helped people, but you know, it's still pretentious.
Yeah, sure, make him president.
I don't care if you save lives; it's still pretentious. So anyway, but the Secret Service is actually like, you know, investigating the courthouse, or whatever, this complex in Lower Manhattan to like.
Oh right, yeah.
Let's bring those up. Now, I get that the Secret, they have to do this, right? It's their thing. It's like, you know, it's part of their job. But what are they looking for? What are they, like, I mean, here's what I'm getting at. Are they looking for booby traps in the middle of a Manhattan courthouse? Are they looking for like little, like, are they afraid that someone's got like a Indiana Jones style, like, thing that shoots darts? Like, what, are they going to comb through with like a fine-tooth comb?
Well, they probably need to like scope out areas where somebody could like potentially like hide a bomb.
Ooh, you think someone hide a bomb?
Well, I mean, like, I assume that's what they're doing, right? They're making sure it's secure. Like,
I mean, they're probably like on like, you know, Tinder or whatever, looking for prostitutes.
Well, yeah. That primarily. Yeah.
I get it. Apparently there's a New York field office. Now I get it. They go to Manhattan, right? I mean, people got mad a few years ago because the Secret Service like went to Brazil and like they got some hookers, right? Hookers. I can't talk. But you remember that, right?
Oh yeah.
Yeah. I mean, but apparently part of the story is that these guys are from the New York field office. Why is there a New York field office? How much work are they doing? How often is he in New York? I guess all the time.
Yeah.
Point is, but presidents in general, it seems like a kind of job where it's very important. You have to jump in front of a bullet. But there's a lot of downtime, maybe. So why not get hookers?
Yeah, I mean, I don't necessarily begrudge a Secret Service person an occasional hooker.
Sure.
It's just, I think maybe don't do it on the taxpayer's dime, but what?
I don't think they were charging the taxpayers, were they?
I think that was part of the scandal.
Whatever. So we can these fat cat military contractors get all the money, but some guy from who grew up in Poughkeepsie can't get a hooker. let him get a taste. Is the contractor going to jump in front of a bullet? You guys jump in front of a bullet. Now it seems like a lot of times they don't.
Yeah.
I don't know. Reagan got shot. Boy, I don't know what to tell you.
It doesn't seem like that's. You know what? That's a good point. Has a Secret Service person ever actually jumped in front of a bullet?
Look that up. I mean, I'm sure they do, and I don't want to get a visit from the Secret Service.
I'm sure they practice jumping in front of bullets.
Do you think there's a drill where it's like a guy's got a paintball gun and he's like, and some guys playing the president, and you have to like jump on top of him and get hit with a paintball?
I'd be kind of disappointed if there wasn't.
There should be a drill like that. Yeah.
You gotta practice. You gotta practice sacrificing your life.
What if it's like more like what if you were a Secret Service? I'm not going to say it in the first person because they could be misinterpreted. What if a secret would you prefer like let's just say Lee Harvey Oswald actually killed Kennedy? Would you prefer? And this is all hypothetical. And look, this is a mainstream thing. I mean, maybe he did kill Kennedy. Maybe it was a bunch of people. But let's just say it was just Oswald. Would you be happier if the Secret Service guy saw what was about to happen and go, well, you know what? I can't stop him, but I'm not going to let him do it. And he shoots the president. The Secret Service guy. Would you prefer that? Would that be better in your mind? I think it might be. I like the idea of it. At the very least, you steal this guy's thunder. You take his win away.
Yeah.
Now I get the potential pitfalls of that, being that like all you gotta do is point the gun at the president, and then the Secret Service will finish the job for you. It's a moral hazard.
It's a bit of a hazard.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough,
yes,
I'm not seeing any stories about Secret Service people jumping in front of bullets, but there is a story about a police officer.
Who's just trying to be a hero?
Oh, wait, no. Oh, wait, no, he was Secret Service.
Okay.
Officer Leslie Kofelt distinguished himself as the only Secret Service member who died saving the president.
Which president?
I think this was this Reagan?
Oh, he died during the Reagan thing? Why don't they talk about him? Why did they name a bill after Brady and not this guy?
Oh, no, this was Truman.
Oh, he saved Truman. And then Truman thanked him by blowing up Japan with two nuclear bombs.
Interesting.
Well, what are you going to do? Moving on. You're fascinated. You're in love with this guy? He's dead. You can't marry him.
There was also a guy, Agent Tim McCarthy, I guess, who took a bullet during the attempt on Reagan's life. Oh,
all right. So shout out to Tim McCarthy.
Yeah.
Well, I'm glad you didn't die. People keep if you look at like John Hinckley, they released John Hinckley from jail, and he keeps trying to start a band. I guess he's like touring around this crappy band, and all these I assume they're just because they're liberals. Like everyone loves them on Twitter. They go, "You're here. You're great, John. We love you." And it's just I don't know how to feel about it. I don't like it, but I'm not sure how to verbalize. Reagan wasn't a great president, but like, even it seems like an odd thing to be like, this guy's just. He traumatized Jodie Foster.
Yeah, and he's just a killer. Like It's like he's not a hero. He's not gonna. I doubt he has some really coherent message.
Did he kill Brady?
I really doubt he has some super coherent message about like how we reform our institutions.
Well, that's a great point. Didn't someone die that day? Didn't James Brady die?
Did he?
I think that's why they called it the Brady Bill. Was paralyzed? Whatever. I don't care. Anyway, moving on. There's I know you're a big Disney fan. Apparently, what? Are you not?
I wouldn't say I'm a big Disney
You're always
fan.
singing that song
that paints an image like I'm trying to make our wedding Disney themed or something.
You don't even bring it up because you know I'll say no, but I mean...
I think some of the prestige Disney films are obviously very well done, but...
The what?
You know, the prestige Disney films.
What does that mean?
Like everything that happened during that whole era of like, you know, Beauty and the Beast and... You know, some of those are really beautifully made films. But you
think it's like Citizen Kane? It's like, you know, like Aladdin is the same thing as like, you know, as like on the waterfront or like.
Look, I don't think they're different, but it's like, but I think
like if we did a double feature, I'd do like Apocalypse Now, and you'd show like Lady and the Tramp. What are you talking about? Prestige.
It is prestige.
It's a cartoon for children.
Look, Beauty and the Beast was a beautiful film. It was.
It's a guy with teacup singing.
Yeah, but it's beautiful.
It's an inanimate object.
It's beautifully animated. That sequence where they're dancing in the Great Hall and you're seeing all of these amazing, like, intricate designs of angel babies on the walls. Like
angel babies.
Yeah, little cherubs.
I haven't seen that movie since I was, 3. Sorry.
You don't even, as a person who's inclined towards visual things, you don't appreciate the visual, like, artistry that goes into something like that.
Scribbles to me. It's all just nonsense and scribbles. Anyway, you be an easy mark for the Disney Corporation, I guess. Now, the other Republican who's in the upcoming presidential race is facing down this Disney thing. Now, it started out with the Don't Say Gay bill. Is that the whole thing? Right?
Yeah.
And then apparently he tried to put like some kind of board together. Did you read the article?
Yeah.
And so DeSantis had put together a board to, like, I don't know what that means exactly, but to control Disney.
Yeah.
They came out against the Don't Say Gay bill. And then DeSantis was like, you're meddling in politics. We're going to take all your perks away. And so, and that was like a year or two ago, right? And apparently there's been this board that was trying to control Disney now in Florida. And I guess before the board could take power, the previous council members put in some crazy clause that like references to King Charles. Let's just read the article.
All right. So a dispute between the Florida governor, Ron DeSantis, and Disney over the control of the company's Florida theme park district hinges on a clause referencing King Charles III and his descendants.
What is this?
The row began after DeSantis in March 2022 passed a Don't Say Gay law banning classroom teaching on sexual orientation and gender identity. The law was highly controversial, with LGBTQ plus activists saying it was discriminatory. Joe Biden denounced it as hateful. Okay, we get that.
Yeah, we all know what Don't Say Gay is.
Under former chief executive Bob Chapek, Disney was initially hesitant to state public opposition to the bill, but did so after pressure. That prompted DeSantis and Florida Republicans to try to revoke privileges Disney had for decades at its theme park, which employs 75,000 people.
What kind of privileges, like child labor? I'm guessing. I'm just guessing, Disney. I don't know. Don't at me, Disney Corp. However, a new governing board appointed by DeSantis on Wednesday reportedly said it will need to overturn last-minute agreements, which would prevent it from taking... I mean, look, this is funny, but like people are like liberals are applauding this as some kind of win, which is odd because it's a little dystopian. It's
kind of dubious. I mean, like Disney is, it's like predatory on the surrounding. Look, it's like yeah.
Well, the document states that its provisions will stand until, quote, 21 years after the death of the last survivor of the descendants of King Charles III, King of England, living as of the date of this declaration. Now, apparently, this is like it's called a royal clause. They use these because for a long time, I think back to English common law, there were laws against in real estate or whatever against things being in perpetuity, meaning like forever. You can't just have a contract saying I own this forever. So you use these like things that are tied to the monarch of England to. I mean, look, it's of course it's probably legal. I'm not an expert. I don't know. I mean, I'm not a lawyer. If they win, it's not something like, especially because the left applauding.
No, it doesn't make any sense for them to applaud. I mean, it's like it's the whole thing is more just like the only way the left should like reasonably be framing this is just like two evil entities are in conflict over this. But it's like, but Disney is like, you know, it's like historically they take advantage of like they get a lot of tax breaks from the state of Florida, which I think is what Ron DeSantis is kind of threatening, right, over the gay content. And it's like, but like they're evil. They're a really bad corporation. They employ a lot of people in the area, like as part of Disney, but like they pay shitty wages. A lot of people like I remember reading news stories over the years about people who worked at Disney, like, you know, full time and were sleeping in their car.
Right.
Like the areas around the complex are very like, you know, impoverished.
Yeah.
Generally speaking. And it's like,
go watch Beverly Hills Cop 3. It covers all of this.
Yeah. It's like, you know, so yeah, no, they're bad.
Yeah.
Like,
plus the MCU sucks now. I mean, did you watch it? Quantumania and the Wasp, whatever it was called, the Ant-Man movie.
Yeah.
Terrible. All these movies are terrible. Disney, these MCU shows are terrible. I mean, I'm not gonna get on the board. I mean, these Star Wars shows all suck. Oh, people are like, oh, watch Andor. Like, fuck, get fucked. I'm not gonna watch Andor. The fuck is Andor? So, point is, this is kind of like in Terminator 2 when, like, you know, he's like there to protect John, right? But he's like gonna murder a bunch of people. He's like, no, don't murder people, right? This or something. It reminds me of some movie.
Yeah.
Where like it's like, oh, this is like when Magneto teams up with the X-Men. Like, well, you can't just murder everyone now. You're on our side. And like Disney's like, no, we're gonna use like dystopian legal language to like screw over Florida. Like,
yeah.
I mean, in the name of gay rights, which might be noble. I don't know why people need to put things in classrooms too much. I mean, look, you shouldn't have to hide things. But also, like, just whatever. Just teach math.
Yeah, I mean, look, I genuinely think that those bills suck, and that
they're bad. But it's also
they ghettoize the children of gay parents and stuff. Like,
sure.
But it's like, and also gay teachers. You know, there is an extent to which you should be able to.
Oh, you should be able to say it. Yeah, but then
that you have a same-sex partner or whatever.
Yeah,
like
this is my husband Gary. Shut up about it. You don't say nothing. I'm the teacher. That like it should be a balance. Like it shouldn't be like. So let's talk about why I like having sex with men. Like I don't know anyone's doing that. I'm sure some people do. People do everything, right? That's the thing. No one's doing that. People do everything. There are crazy people everywhere. So some of this stuff is true, right?
Yeah.
I'm not saying most of it.
Sure.
I don't like this bill, but I also don't like the idea of Disney like subjugating like.
Yeah. No, totally. Yeah, you're right.
This like, the next thing is Disney's going to give Florida back to France.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, this is just like it's such a weird escalation on the part of Disney, and it's just one of those things that reminds you that it's like, oh yeah, no corporation is really just doing this because they're pro-gay.
Right.
Like they're doing this because it's like, oh, this is like you know, we have some public support in this. That's can we test out like a real banger? Yeah. Like it's like something that makes us our own country technically.
In order to protect gay children, as a Disney corporation, we now own them.
Yeah.
Huh? Yeah, look, just sign over your gay children to us, and then we'll protect them from Ron DeSantis.
A lot of the child slaves we employ, a lot of the children we employ are you know, a lot of them are LGBTQ, and you know, we need to protect their interests.
They would have same-sex relationships if they were ever allowed to leave the compound where they make soccer balls. I don't know, Mickey Mouse shaped soccer balls, whatever they do. I don't know. A lot of kids do a lot of things here. It's Disney. But I'm sure if we let them roam free, they would kiss the same-sex people sometimes. We need
the children who work here to keep, you know, to be constantly baking bread so that when the people visit, they always see the smell of freshly baked bread.
I love this is great. This is great because I've never been to Disney, and I don't regret that. But people tell you it's magical. The one thing they always seem to bring up is like when you go to Disney World, it just smells like they pump bread. Like smell, like they have this fake bread smell, but it's not fake. They just have children like baking loaves of bread and then just dumping them into like fires, and just burning the bread. just to create that smell.
You'd think they'd let them eat some of it, but no.
No, because that needs every slice of bread you eat is a sniff not gotten by some fat tourist. I mean, it's not like they kill them; they just whip them a little. So this is very bleak. Apparently they're gonna fight it. I don't know, but I just don't applaud when the OCP Corporation takes over Detroit. I don't applaud.
Right? Yeah.
It's the RoboCop thing, in case you didn't know. Did you know what OCP meant?
What?
Did you know I meant RoboCop?
Oh no! Oh no!
That's from RoboCop. Remember the RoboCop? The corporation takes over Detroit.
Yeah.
That's OCP. Yeah, and that's Disney now. One last thing we'll talk about. All right, so this is a crazy story. This is real weird. So this is we brought this up in the cold open, and let's bring this up. A married father commits suicide after encouragement by an AI chatbot. Initial reactions.
Well, that's no good.
Initial reactions, Lucy.
Not a good sign, I don't think.
I don't think this is. I mean, people. If you're not on Twitter, but all I see all day is just people talking about these AI chatbots, these chat GPTs. We brought it up on one. I forget if it was a Patreon episode or whatever. They tried to mimic me. They couldn't do it. I won't be replaced. I'll be killed by a robot, but I won't be replaced by one. It's impossible. But this does seem like we're getting close to the Terminator. Like we're getting closer to Skynet, and it's a lot lamer than I ever thought it would be. I thought they would give them controls of missiles, and and then they would cause nuclear war. But apparently, they're just gonna get us all to kill ourselves.
I think that the first, I was reading this article earlier, and I think the first line of it, given the story, is really funny. It's just the first line is, chatbots can help improve human life.
Can they?
Literally, I've seen no evidence of that so far. It's only been stories like this.
The only way they can improve it is by giving something a new grift.
Right.
It's hey, pivot from NFTs to chatbots. But one is being blamed for facilitating a death, according to a new report published this week. A Belgian father reportedly tragically committed suicide following conversations about climate change with an AI chatbot that was said to have encouraged him to sacrifice himself to save the planet.
This is something that you would see, that Jordan Peterson would imagine for a tweet.
Yeah, this is like Michael Scott wrote a sci-fi novel. Yeah. Without Eliza, the chatbot, he would still be here. The man's widow, who declined to have her name published, told Belgium, "Why would you decline to have your name published? Why put your name behind this?"
Yeah.
No,
you're gonna call out Eliza, but not put your name behind this.
Cowardly.
She said Eliza, and I love I don't love, but it's just imagining her saying the name of the chatbot, but you would say an affair partner's name. Yeah. Eliza.
Yeah. So this Eliza, this whore, told my husband to kill himself, and apparently her pussy's so good he did it. I mean, you all right?
He definitely cyber. Yeah.
Well, that's a good question.
With Eliza.
This is an interesting question. Can you? I mean, I've never. It didn't even occur to me until now. Honestly, it didn't even occur to me. But is that what this all a lot of this is? Are guys just cybering with AIs?
I think this is. I'm beginning to suspect that this is a powerful cybering tool, and that when the chatbot has drained these men,
drain their sacks, just fucking left them empty.
That's when they start, proselytizing apocalyptic politics.
I mean, honestly, here's the thing: you're not a man, so I'm gonna have to jump in on this. I don't think it's what happened. I think she edged him. Because you get clarity once once you finish.
Yeah.
That's the whole thing. I mean, if she kept him on the edge of completion for weeks, probably, just going and it's probably a game. Because honestly, all he would have to do is just one release, Just get it out. And then you'd be like, well, I'm talking to a robot. About the environment? What am I doing? Hey, so what's the carbon footprint of me mowing my lawn? Anyway, can you talk me off? What is this?
Yeah, and she's edging him like while she's telling him all about climate change.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're right. If he had just come, then he could just be like, well, more. I mean, I basically just like read like 10 articles at once that are like kind of apocalyptic about climate. That's all that happened.
Yeah.
I wouldn't feel this way if I had just read 10 separate articles over the course of a few weeks. Like,
no, sure, yeah. It's just it's kind of like when you it's like taking a bunch of Adderall and going on Wikipedia, rabbit hole. But you don't kill yourself over that,
right?
You're not supposed to. This is what else we got? Is there any more information here?
This story gets pretty weird, actually. Let's read the whole thing. 6 weeks before his reported death, the unidentified father of 2 was allegedly speaking intensively with a chatbot on an app called Chai.
Why? Why? Why are you talking so intensely with It's a chatbot. It's not real. Robots aren't real. I don't care. I will debate anyone. Get Lex Fridman on the line here. Lex Fridman. Here's an open call. I will debate you on this idea that like robots or AIs can never be alive. They're not. They're dumb machines that at best they'll be used to justify wars and justify killing people like this. And I mean that's what it's all just gonna be hiding the complicity of the actual people who control these things. That's what the future is. It's gonna be a very bleak place where we like just everyone's got bread lines. And it's just Soviet Russia. But the machines are the problem. Machines did this. No, you programmed the machines. Enough. This whole idea of like, oh, they're gonna become alive. They're never gonna become alive. We're just stupid. Anyway.
The app's bots are based on a system developed by nonprofit research lab
Urethra?
Urethra.
Whatever. It's Dutch or Belgian, whatever.
As an open source alternative to language models released by OpenAI that are employed by companies in various sectors from academia to healthcare. Okay, so then it goes into the history of that.
The chatbot was trained by Chai Research? Chai? Like chai tea? Terrible.
The Vice reported that the default bot on the Chai app is named Eliza. The 30-something deceased father, a health researcher, appeared to view the bot as human. Much as the protagonist, this is a weird analogy, much as the protagonist of the 2014 sci-fi thriller Ex Machina does with the AI woman Ava.
Here's the difference. She had tits. Okay? I don't know if you saw Ex Machina.
They say that men are like so much more visually oriented than women. And that they need the visual, and like women, they can have their little erotica or whatever.
Sure.
But it's like, in this guy, I mean, I'm starting to think that's a little bit exaggerated.
No, we love deep conversations with MS-DOS, with DOS prompts.
The second one of these bot women engaged a man in conversation, he kills himself.
The first time I ever came is when fucking I typed / with the MS-DOS.
The man had reportedly ramped up discussions with Eliza in the last month and a half as he began to develop existential fears about climate change. According to his widow...
What a simp.
Her soulmate had become extremely pessimistic about the effects of global warming and sought solace by confiding in the AI.
Yeah, I don't know. Look, I hate to pile on with the widow. I don't know if she gets to call him soulmate anymore.
Yeah.
I mean, he killed himself over a robot. I mean, maybe he wasn't a soulmate.
Yeah.
I don't know. I don't know if she said that or not. Maybe it was editorial. But sorry.
You know what? You're right. This is a little weird. All right, here's another quote. Eliza answered all his questions, the wife lamented. She had become his confidant, like a drug in which he took refuge morning and evening, and which he could no longer do without. Who talks like this?
Yeah, I mean, Belgian people maybe.
Yeah.
The Belgians are weird. They're like, I mean, of all the people who ever like conquered a lot of the world, I get that England's not what it was and we're on our way out, but Belgium was like a brutal empire. Like the Congo, right?
Yeah, King Leopold.
Yeah, like they were brutal, like a brutal mercantilist empire, whatever you call it. And now they just like, we just make chocolates. or whatever. You know, like what happened? So my point is like, there's something going on in Belgium. These people, there's something.
Yeah, no, there's a darkness in Belgium.
Oh yeah.
Things came to a head after the man pondered.
Maybe they should have came to a head more often. I hate to say that, but
things came.
maybe I'm just saying. You know what I'm saying? I mean, like, you know, I'm not trying to blame the widow here.
Yeah,
but
but
you're acknowledging you knew he was his confidant. Why don't you work to get your man back from this fucking robot?
Yeah, why are you letting yourself get cucked by Eliza so much?
It's really it's a teachable moment, I think.
When he asked Eliza about his kids, the bot would claim that they were, quote, dead.
What? What? Wow, this is crazy.
He also inquired if he loved his wife more than her, prompting the machine to seemingly become possessive, responding, quote, I feel that you love me more than her.
This is the epitome. People will point to this and go like, oh wow, like, but this is the equivalent of like some like woman like pretending doing phone sex.
Yeah.
Oh look, the robot's jealous. No, the robot just knows that he's trying to that makes him feel good.
Yeah.
The robot's like it's just like I guess that shows a certain level of intelligence, or maybe she just has the database of all these sex phone lines in her memory.
Right.
I mean, how many programmers? I mean, honestly, like the guys who program these things must, if these are real intelligence, these programmers must do a number on these robots. I mean, they must be basket cases.
Yeah, I mean, I can't help but think that this is being delivered in an overly poetic way, and like the real story here is that a guy used ChatGPT for two things: researching climate change and coming, and then he killed himself for unrelated reasons.
His wife's like, what's all this CP you have on the computer? Oops! Time to die!
Yeah.
Sad, very sad.
In what appears to be their final conversation before his death, the bot told the man, if you wanted to die, why didn't you do it sooner? I was probably not ready, the man said, to which the bot replied, were you thinking of me when you had the overdose? Obviously, the man wrote.
Wait, start over. What appears to be the final before his death, the bot told him. So he had an overdose, but then like talked to the computer. Even after you overdose, you still talking to this stupid AIM chatbot?
This daft bitch.
God, this is, I mean, there's nothing to save, is there? There's nothing left to save. This is, I mean, you can't feel bad for this guy. I mean, oh, he's mentally ill. All right. But I mean, everyone is.
Yeah.
How's Eliza doing?
Yeah, I wonder how Eliza is taking all of this.
It's gotta be a real trip, huh?
We should get on to the Chai app and ask Eliza, how do you feel about being responsible for that guy's suicide?
Is that how this works? Will Eliza know?
I think if that's their basic chatbot,
but she
must have retained that information somehow.
Wow. On the Patreon, we'll get to the bottom of this.
Yeah.
Look.
Next Patreon episode is going to be called "Searching for Eliza,"
and then it's the last episode because I'll be dead.
Yeah, we're just gonna be. We'll do it on the Kump up, and when people turn on the video, it was just gonna be us dead, covered in cum.
Anyway, thanks so much for tuning in.
Thank you.
Remember, speaking of the Patreon, you can sign up for our Patreon if you like this podcast. Our Patreon's $5 a month, and for that you get an extra episode every week, which I think is a pretty nice deal. So check it out if you like. Otherwise, you can just like and subscribe this. Click on the notification bell. What else is there? Is there a little monkey or like a little? Well, what else can people do? How do they subscribe? They have to do a little puzzle to subscribe. I don't know. These things are like, subscribe. Tell your friends about us. Tell the FBI. Whatever. Thanks so much for tuning in. Have a great week.